we'll come to that.
Okay.
So thank you very much. These are our group. My
Very
name is
beautiful.
Clemens.
Clemens.
I work with the Development Institute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then we have, you introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is John Lumo.
Nice to see you.
I'm the leader of the woman group.
Oh, okay.
I'm a planting
Uh-huh.
and the restoration mangrove.
Okay. All right.
So there's one thing that he's not saying. He's the leader of the nursery
Nursery.
team
The
here
entire
in
team.
Anyangwi.
Okay.
So they have a space that they began the nursery,
Okay.
mangrove nursery. So from here we'll go and have a look at the nursery as they have.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lumo.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we want to now recognize you also specially.
Okay.
Then you can introduce yourself to us.
Okay.
Then we know. Then we can open the discussion
Okay.
among
that sounds
ourselves.
good.
So welcome. We can
Thank
start
you.
from you.
Okay, my name is Khalid Sadiku. I'm the Chief of Tourism and Hospitality at I-DIEM Africa.
I-DIEM Africa. The open yo vamiagbo o yo number I-DIEM. Mayikata yoganami. Yes, Gomada. Institute for Diversity and
Inclusion.
Inclusion, diversity and inclusion.
Yes.
Emergency
Management.
That is I-DIEM. Okay.
Yes, it is. Always.
Okay. So here is the Ameya Yepona a charity for Dodo Katanji now. Mojaka charity. Yes.
Good morning. So my name is Antoine Richards, and I am Chief of Staff for I-DIEM, as we call it for short. Yes, mouthful. So I-DIEM.
Opama Ganda Kaya. The name again?
Antoine.
S1.
Antoine.
Antoine. Okay. All right. So.
Anthony, yes.
Okay. That's
French
Anthony.
Anthony.
Okay. Tony. You have Tony. For Tony. Okay.
I'm Tony from now on.
So for Tony.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Hello. I am so happy to be here. I'm Chancia Willis Johnson. I'm the Chief Executive Officer and the founder for I-DIEM and I-DIEM Africa. So we have I-DIEM in the United States, and I-DIEM is focused on inclusion, women in disaster management. So everything that you are doing is beautiful, wonderful to me. This is the work that we do in the United States, and so we also are doing similar work here for climate change, specifically focused on climate change disasters. So that is the work that Khaled does, and Kofi, he's our, say hello, Kofi. This is Kofi Annan. And he does a lot of the videos, which you'll be able to see later, including this video. So yes, this is my son, Michael. Say hello, Michael Elijah.
Hi, Michael Elijah.
No, this is Michael Elijah. This is my son. And this is my husband, Maurice.
Yeah.
My husband. And this is Antoine's mom.
Tony.
I call her Mrs. Antoine. Antoine's mom. So thank you. We're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so
Yeah, my name is Ken Kinney, and I'm the Executive Director for the Development Institute. So I'll be doing both. I'll be talking in Ewe, then I'll also be talking in English. So you bear with me. But before then, I would like to introduce the rest of my staff who are here. We have George Ampa. Is a project support in Algeria. Then we meet Mayor Ashon. She's he's just doing the same work like Kofi. He's the one responsible for communication. So this is just a very brief history, and it has sort of started materializing. About a month ago or some 3 weeks ago, I had a conversation with Caleb and then Jennifer, right? Because earlier you had sent us a mail that you would like to meet us. But unfortunately, I didn't know how we didn't find that mail late December. So when I saw it somewhere in February even, I decided that, oh, okay, this could be an opportunity to make friends and to also maybe see whether we can get into partnership. So I reached out to Jennifer, and Jennifer set up a meeting. So we had a very exciting meeting, and along the line, they got back to me and said you'll be visiting Ghana, and whether we are available for you to visit some of the things that we are doing. So I think it is an opportunity. We grab it and said, fine, you should come. We are doing a lot of work here along the coast, and the focus really is about resilience building. We are looking at cultural resilience, environmental resilience, and then economic resilience. And all these are put into some level of programs. So if you talk about, so what we are doing here is we call it CRIMA. And CRIMA is a policy of Ghana government. And the focus is to look at how best communities can protect, restore, and utilize their own resources. Yes, so community resource management areas. And this area is one of the few coastal areas in Ghana that has a lot of, which I will say the environment has not been too much degraded. Here we have sea turtle, we have mangroves, we have manatees, and and then it's also a highway for the movement of whales. So we realize that it's a very good area to be able to set up these community resource management areas. And the mangrove, basically, they reduce issues of flooding. So that is for resilience. And then they also create an environment for breeding of fishes, and that is also talking about resilience. The communities along here, most of them are gone. About 2 major ones are gone due to flooding and due to coastal erosion. And the good news is that Ghana government has begun a process to, I think they have received some funding from the World Bank to be able to restore the coastal areas here, to increase, or let's say to protect the community from flooding. But within that context, the issues of their own economic livelihoods and things needs to be supported, and how to build the institutions that they have. So for economic resilience, building economic resilience for them, what we do is we are setting up what we call Village Savings and Loans Association. And then to be able to build them up, each community has what we call community resource management area. And the women groups in those communities are being empowered to set up what we call the Ango Women Development Organization. So all the members you have here, all the women who are here, or my sisters who are here, they are all coming from these 8 communities. They are either fish smokers, they either process fish, or they are responsible for either harvesting the mangrove, planting the mangrove, nursing the mangroves, or transporting the mangrove from the lagoon area. And also finally, you go and see a very big mangrove market there. Now, what we have been trying to do to be able to reduce the level of degradation, and also that they can make better use of the mangrove ecosystem, we are trying to help them go into restoration to a very large extent, and also, if possible, to get involved in carbon trading. Yeah, so these are the things that we are, so that will enable them to still restore their ecosystem whilst they can get some resources for protecting the mangroves through carbon trading. So basically, this is what we are doing here. So you are welcome. We will go. The other thing that we will go to another level. In fact, DI's centers its activity mainly in areas that have not received a lot of government support, but then there is also a lot of biodiversity. So we'll go to the mountain area from here, and you will also see what we are doing there. He said he want to look at some important tourist sites. And
if time would allow,
yeah, so if time will allow. So after here, we will only go to the Fort Presenstian. I think they will be, my brothers, my sisters, and my brothers, they will be interested to, even before you go to Cape Coast. I don't know whether they have been there already.
Been there.
Yeah, they will also see what used to be at the East Coast. It's almost destroyed, but at least it is good. Whilst you are here, it's good for you to see what obtains there as well.
How long have you been doing this?
We started working before, this and Keta used to be one municipal. Then they have not been divided. So I would say our presence here is about 15 years. Yes.
What is the lifespan of mangrove production, especially in relation to people working on them? So if a young lady is part of this team and she's helping build mangrove, how long would it take her? Is it a lifelong activity? Is it a career or an occupation that you do till? Yeah.
Because I noticed the women.
Lifespan. If I would say currently, what they do with the mangroves is to plant it, and then they will start cutting it if it is between 8 and 15 years. By 15 years, the mangrove is fully matured to be cut so that they can use it for either domestic fuel wood, firewood, or they use it for processing of fish. And normally, they claim that, Ghanaians claim that fish process using mangrove is the best. It has a longer lifespan, longer shelf life, and also it tastes better.
Okay.
Yeah. It's tastier.
Tastier.
Yeah, it's tastier. So that is what they do here. So I would say that the mangrove they produce here is used all along this stretch up to Greater Accra, and to some extent also into Togo. So what they produce here. So, but now we are thinking about changing the current status of a mangrove economy. We say that here their economy is centered around mangroves. Okay. So they have a long value chain. We have people who will nurse it, others will go and plant it, and then after it's grown, people will cut it and all that till it gets to the market and to the users. But with understanding that mangrove sequester carbon more than green forest, or more than wet forest, or more than the typical tropical forest. The understanding is that the mangrove is a better plant to allow for carbon sequestration, because that may help reduce the anthropogenic emissions that we are all doing all over the world. So we are moving into what we call non-mangrove economy. And so any young lady who is part of this process, the understanding is that they would go into other kinds of activities. Either it is through their own ingenuity, they want to do some trading, they want to learn some vocation. And what we are planning is we are working with one company to be able to set up a mangrove project. If we have that project, any money that comes from there, it will go around. I mean, the landowners, those who are planting, all the people would benefit. But more importantly is to be able to help set up a fund that can take care of the women group in particular. So that is what
the role of women are they heads of households because of the work they do, or there is a balance in that? That's the question.
Yeah, interestingly, this area is a net immigration zone. The whole coastal area of the East Coast. Most people move from here to Accra or to Togo, to Lomé, especially the men. And therefore, we have a lot of single female-headed families. So I don't know if you can count here. Even here, we could have about maybe 40% that are single. They are the ones taking care of the households. So what they do, they provide services to those who are planting mangrove. They plant mangroves, and then they also help in haulaging it from the lagoon area to the market, and they are also the ones involved in selling. And then more importantly, they are the ones that use it to process fish for sale. And then in the fisheries industry, generally here, what happens is they are the one responsible for processing of the fish. As soon as the fish is landed, then the men or the boat owners or the net owners leave the entire process to them. They do the processing, they buy it, they process, and they are the ones who sell.
The more the fish stock depletes, the more the harvesting of the mangrove. Because it's an alternative income generating activity within the area, apart from the fishing and the smoking and the fish processing. Yes, so that is another challenge they have.
Okay, so that would mean the what do you call it? The woods they cut are transported to outside the area.
Yes.
Yeah, because if they don't have fish to smoke,
yes,
some people come to buy from this side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So her question is more related to what is the deficit of skills in terms of training. What do you envision would be like trainings that the woman would need? I think that's a great area we can come in to partner, to give trainings in certain areas that you might let us know that they lack certain knowledge in such areas, so that we can partner in that regard and then help foster more resilience and sustainability.
Okay, great. So from the Development Institute's point of view, we are here to support our communities grow, and the communities grow from the individual. If the individual succeeds, the community will succeed. So what we have been doing is using, that's just the first level, is using a psychosocial training that we use. It's actually part of it actually starts from the United States of America. I don't know whether you've heard about Institute for Cultural Affairs, ICA. So they have a top method, and in Ghana we are the only ones who can do that. Yes, we are the only one who train in that. So that is the process we are using for them to have a lot of mind shift, and then that also helps them to work together. One of the challenge here is they don't like working together. So I don't know whether it's genetic to blacks, but yes, so but that is one of the things that we are trying to help do here.
It comes from scarcity of resources.
Exactly, that is the basis. That is the main basis.
So
it's about a consciousness of lack, and therefore you are all drifting to make sure, okay, yes, so that is it. Then how they can work together, so participation, how they can work together, build their own resources, build their own institutions, and that. So that is the way we are looking at it. Then more importantly, I've already said that we started something we call Village Loans and Savings Association. And that is initially to help them know how to save money and how to utilize money, how to loan money to themselves and get interest and things like that. But that is just a way to help them understand how to use money literacy.
Financial literacy.
Financial literacy, as you call it.
Is that supported by a grant or a bank?
We are doing most of these things through our little resources that we have, if we have a project and all that. But then more importantly, what we need to do is now about how to create not cooperatives as the word goes, but then small businesses in groups, and how to help them have management skills to be able to manage their own businesses. So
is that something you teach?
Yeah, the man there, the man there is an accountant,
Okay.
and have a background on commerce and finance. So he's the one that does some of these, the economic empowerment thing.
What do you think are the main cause of the fish depletion?
The main cause is overfishing.
Overfishing.
Using a wrong
Net.
fishing gear. Yeah, and then climate change. Yeah, but the critical thing, what we are doing to ourselves more is about overfishing. Using the wrong fishing gear, and though you know the population is increasing and all that, so and then we should be looking at aquaculture, which we are not doing at all here.
No fisheries?
There is how do we call it? There's fisheries, but we are not doing typical aquaculture, how to grow fish in the either in the sea or in the lagoon or in our own houses. So that is another area that can be supported.
So there is over dependence on the.
And then if you talk about the high seas, most of the time. Cycle. Yes, exactly.
We have it here too.
Yeah, it's along the whole coast. It's along the whole West African coast.
Yeah. So can you explain a bit about cycle so that if we don't,
basically is the fact that we as Ghanaians, Ghanaians acquire the license from Ghana government, and to a large extent sell it to foreign companies. Chinese vessels, Korean vessels, and then these people fish very close to the economic exclusive zone. And so what happens is that then they catch the fish, they sell it to our own people to come and sell here. So these are some. Government is not allowing it, but
it's happening.
Yes, they are not enforcing any law. So those are the. But the critical thing, they themselves are also using the wrong fishing gear.
Yeah.
So all these things needs to be regulated. So the CRIMA, in fact, has a constitution, and then the constitution, we are in the process of sending it to become a bylaw by the district assembly that will prevent some of this behavior within the community.
Yeah. I think along the line you answered the last question about the impact on livelihood. Yeah.
Okay.
Broadly, when we have women groups like this, or we have communities, there are various capacities that we give to them. So we start from the group dynamics. So bringing the groups together, how they can live as a group member, how the impact individually can have on the group, and how the group can impact individually. So those are the starting point that we have. Then when we begin to look at, when we say financial literacy, it's not only the financial literacy that we look at, but we begin to look at the whole management and governance structure of any group that we have. So we begin to see the structures, to look at the leadership, to look at how the positions can be occupied. Then we move to election, for them to elect their various leadership to manage. So we look at both the governance and look at the management. Then we can now move ahead to look at conflict, because in every group like this there is a conflict. So we need to understand conflict, the sources of conflict, and how they can manage and prevent the conflict. So that becoming holding them together as a group. Then we begin to look at the financial literacy now. We look at the cost and how they can manage their cost, how they can look at the marketing processes and the marketing value chain, then how they can begin to learn the savings. You know, it's a culture of us not to save and save consistently. So we try to build a capacity to see how they can begin to start saving a cedi, for example. So we look at if you save a cedi a day, maybe over 5 days in a week, that's a 5 cedis. Then over a month is about 20 cedis. then about a year, which we don't do. So once they begin to do that, then cumulatively they are beginning to build their own capital base to support themselves. So as they do that, then we start looking at the main or the resource of interest that they look at, which if you look at here, we say mangrove, for example, then we begin to see the mangrove value chain, the nursery, what they do, because we want to restore, we want to conserve. We need the source of the mangrove. So we start the nursery, then that one we partner with the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission. They come in to build their capacity on the new techniques of nursery and how they can transplant to the field. Then we try to give them the capacity through the value chain, how they can cut the marketing and all sort of the entire value chain. We take the whole. These are the women leads from the various communities that we have.
Asking 2 questions. Do they all speak?
Na atra ako bi aton ko bla mo apa tsetsa na wonto ga o ga mi na rete ka fifia wi kama ko to trova we ba achia magatan to ma bala o no na o awe ba na mia no chimia ko ha ale mi aga duia asasana ta adokuna tananya ba watemo akpara mi abuchionami alachia aterona suna goregbam ogatenwo vanamia aweba miafa adona akaramanami.
Those days, the rainfall pattern was huge, and it was so reliable, and the mangrove forest was in plentiful. But because of the climate change and the heat, sometimes when they plant the seedlings, they die. And then also the river Volta that you see here enters the sea, and the entrance between the river and the sea is blocked by sandbars. So because the sea is not flowing into the river too is not flowing into the sea, the water is stagnant, and therefore is causing the nature of the water is not natural. Therefore, it is not helping the mangrove plant seedlings, the small ones, to grow. These are the challenges that they are having.
So the government doesn't dig to make the sand go away?
Yes, the government did it in the past, but current one, I learned there are plans, but we don't know when they will try to remove it. It's a major project. Yes, yes. Yeah, she's saying that the rainfall pattern is low, and therefore it is disturbing the ecosystem. The fishes, the species of fish that they used to harvest, they are no more there.
How long ago did it change?
Come again.
How long ago did the fish pattern change?
Yes, like 20 to 30 years.
Oh,
it is gradual process. There are some fishes you don't see them anymore. When you ask them that, they will mention the name of plenty fishes that are in history in the area. They are no more in the ecosystem. So these are the challenges, and because of that, formerly they were relying on the fish processing as a business. So because of this climate change and its challenges, they have to shift to the mangrove as a livelihood support to look after their children, to support their education. Yes.
I see. Yes.
Yeah, the same concern about the river and the climate change. And you see, they are innocent about the factors that are contributing to the climate change and its negative impact. But they are at the receiving end.
Yes. Thank you. Are they aware that Africa as a whole isn't contributing to climate? That Africa isn't contributing, and that it is the receiving? Do they know all that's happening?
They know.
Are they angry about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what they are lamenting about. Yes. That the industrial world is destroying the climate.
Yes.
Then they are feeling the impact. The rainfall pattern is low. Yes, and it's affecting their livelihood, especially how to support their children's education.
Right.
Yes.
I would be so upset.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. When it comes to disasters as leaders, how is disaster warning known? Like when there's a tidal wave coming.
Yes.
If there's a tidal wave, how do they communicate that danger is coming? If the men are in Togo, Benin, and everyone is working in Accra, the men, it's just the women now. How do the women communicate that something is happening or about to happen?
Yes, thank you. Normally, we take the bulletin from Ghana Meteorological Society or agency. They will announce it on radio or in the media. Then the local communication station, we have community communication centers, they announce it to the community that they should not go to fishing, that there will be a rainstorm or windstorm, and therefore they are warned not to go to fishing. So this is traditionally what we use to communicate. And they put it on social media as well. Yes.
Is tidal waves, is that something that is a new phenomenon, or has that always been something that happens along the coastal area? You get tidal waves eventually, or is it like something that is happening new?
Yeah.
It's been there.
Yeah, it has been there. But with the climate change, it's becoming more severe. And the government, there were some government interventions like coastal protection. Government did some, I don't know when we were coming, sea defense, you saw some of them, yes. But there are more coastal communities that need more support to protect the coastal areas. Yes. So that is a challenge. I think there is a global fund to support the impact of the climate change, but we are not getting the funds. Meanwhile, we are at the receiving end of the climate change.
That's a good point to make. Maybe that's somewhere we could partner on understanding that better.
Yes.
Because it seems like a lot of communities aren't getting the funds that were committed to do just this, you know?
Yes. That is our cry.
Yes.
So as a mother, if you can partner Development Institute and Ango Krima, so that our voices will go higher.
Yes.
Yes, it will be very beneficial to them.
Well, you know, I will say thank you. And clearly, you know, God had a plan, because he didn't show you the email until we were actually coming. So God definitely was in his position of making things happen at the right time. So we appreciate all of you, all of the ladies. Thank you so much. I know it's difficult to take care of families, especially by yourself with children and work. I know how hard that is. So I just appreciate all of you, and thank you for giving the structure and the psychosocial intelligence and the group dynamic work to ensure the group stays strong and it can keep moving and developing and achieving and accomplishing so much. So everything happens for a reason, and you've all created this for a time such as this. And so we commit to doing the work, the hard work of supporting what you're already doing. You're already doing so much. You must be commended for that.
We want to thank you so much for your visit.
Thank you.
And to say that we are pleading to you to adopt
yes,
as your baby the creamer that we have here and the effort of the women groups.
Okay.
So that you can showcase it in United States as your greatest achievement in Africa. Yes. So let's be in partnership. Let's come together and work for the sake of humanity.
Absolutely.
We need capacity in terms of ICT gadgets. We want to be monitoring the mangrove forest. Like we need smaller drones just to have office with the gadgets, the ICT computers, to be monitoring the intrusion to the mangrove forest. And also sometimes to monitor the activity of the fishermen on the sea, how they are using negative fishing nets to destroy our water bodies, and also to use it to monitor the coastal, the tidal waves, and the change in the weather patterns to inform the community about impending danger.
Yes.
This one is too small for you. You can do it for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, you know, can you say you already have my heart? We are already connected.
Okay.
And we are definitely all in. Yeah. So we will do what we can.
Thank
Absolutely.
you very much. You speak as a mother.
Yes.
So we believe it will happen.
Yes, I do. I understand 100%.
Thank you, I-DIEM Africa. Bye.